Okay, today we're going to be preparing morel mushrooms in a light white wine sauce, white wine butter sauce, with a little fresh garlic and a little fresh wild leeks or ramps.
Ooh.
Okay?
Okay.
So what I've done here is
this is garlic?
Yep, this is regular fresh garlic.
Okay.
And these are wild leeks with the tops taken off of them.
Okay.
They're going to taste a little bit more like an onion than a leek because these are the wild leeks.
Okay.
We have some morels that we've already prepared here.
Ooh.
What we've done is we've taken and cut them in half. We have a variety of shapes and sizes: jumbo, medium, junior.
Wait, this is the jumbo right here. That is the super jumbo.
Yeah, they've all been soaked in water, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pan that we have with about a tablespoon of olive oil.
Okay.
We're going to put this on a nice hot flame. For the sake of time, I already pre-started the cut, but I wanted to keep one here so I could show you. So fresh clove of garlic, just split that in half, and then one more time. Okay, and then come back through here. Nice small dice is what we're looking for here. A mince, more like a mince. Okay. These morels were harvested in upstate New York. Okay, now we go right into the leeks. While we're waiting for our oil to get hot, we're just going to cut those down one time here. And then come through, do some thin slices. Oh, you can just smell that fresh onion flavor. These are going to be really tasty.
Yes, we harvested the ramps ourselves as well as the morels.
Yep, two little treasures of upstate New York right here in our own backyard.
And what are you going to serve this morel ramp sauce with?
We're going to serve this over the top of grilled sirloin steak. This sauce would also be really good over over the top of fish, chicken. This is really a neutral sauce. We've omitted the cream to lighten it up a little bit. Okay? So now we're going to go ahead and add our leeks or our ramps right into the pan. Okay? We're going to just give that a quick swirl. And now we're going to add the garlic.
So why do you add them both at the same time? Because like me personally, I would cook the ramps first and then the garlic.
Well, I don't want a lot of color on either one of them. These ramps cook really fast, and I don't want a lot of brown color on there.
Okay.
So that's why we've added them at the same time, basically.
Okay.
Just going to kind of sweat that just a little bit more. Okay, we'll let that go. While we're waiting for that, we'll process our morels, which we're going to just really quickly cut these up into bite-sized pieces. Okay, they're nice and soft, so they're coming up right apart for us.
Now I want everyone to know these were I can't even count how many hours in the woods I spent looking for these. This was a bad year for morels, and plus it was our first year looking for morels, but this is a New York
delicacy.
Yes. $22 at least per pound.
Okay, you can see the inside there, nice and clean. We've soaked these in water.
For how many hours?
Overnight is good. Just to be sure that there are no visitors. A lot of times little bugs will try to get in there. And now what we're going to do is we're just about done. We're going to give this a quick stir. We're starting to brown up. Okay, that's as far as I want to go. Okay, we'll let that just sit there for a second. We'll finish processing these morels.
Now, do you have any preferences for pans you cook this stuff in?
Well, I'm using an aluminum pan just because I like that quick high heat. Cast iron would work. Really anything would work. These mushrooms are very soft and very moist, so they're not really going to stick to any kind of pan. I'd stay away from Teflon.
Why?
Because you can get Teflon, you can pick up some of that metal into your dish. So I like to stay away from the Teflon, because what we're going to do is we're going to actually take all these mushrooms, all these little goodies, we're going to put this back on the heat, we're going to add our mushrooms. Once we cook these mushrooms for a couple minutes, we're going to deglaze with white wine. And actually, because we weren't able to make it to the store to get some white wine, we're going to substitute a little dry gin, which will work great. The last component to this dish, matter of fact, there are two. Well, I have some chicken stock here that I've reduced down by about half. Okay. I got about a cup here. And then I'm going to ask my assistant to grab some whole unsalted butter that I have chilling.
From the fridge?
From the fridge.
Okay, wow. Like a whole thing? Okay, I see it.
So we have hit it on a plate.
That's okay.
Okay. We're all friends here. So what we're going to do is take this cold butter and we're going to just cube it up. Cut it into nice cubes. I didn't even...
So like one whole stick?
Yeah, one whole stick should do the trick.
So like how many morels were those like?
We had about 15 morels.
Okay.
Okay.
How many cloves of garlic?
3 cloves of garlic.
And how many ramps or... No, like what if someone can't get ramps?
If you can't get ramps, substitute half of a regular size onion.
Okay.
Or 2 smaller onions.
Okay.
Okay, we got a cup of chicken stock. We started out with 2 cups. We reduced it down to about a cup.
Okay.
We have 1 stick of butter.
Yes.
And we're going to put in probably 3 or 4 ounces of gin.
Or white wine?
Or white wine. Okay, and what we've done here is we've gotten the mushrooms are actually so moist that they've started to pick the pan up, pick up all the flavor in the pan. Well, we're letting those cook.
It smells awesome.
We're going to add just a splash
of black pepper.
A sprinkling of black pepper. I got the large one here. Okay.
So like,
black pepper.
How much black pepper?
About a half a teaspoon.
Okay.
Black pepper, and then we're going to come in with a good teaspoon of salt. We're using unsalted butter, so we're going to need some salt for this sauce.
So what if you used salted butter?
Salted butter I would just cut back to about a half a teaspoon, or maybe a quarter teaspoon, and then just taste it. So our mushrooms are just about there.
Okay, how do you know that?
Well, you want to cook them for about 10 minutes. They don't really lose any mass. They don't shrink down. And you can pretty much continue to cook them for as long as you want. But we're starting to get a little bit of a grayish color here on the side. Our liquid's starting to come out gray. And I can see that they're starting to soften up a little bit just from touching them with the spoon. You could cook them as long as you want, but 10 minutes will do the trick. Okay, so we're going to count to 200, and then we're going to add our gin. Our chicken broth is nice and hot. Just give that a second, and just about there. You could a nice touch on this would be to finish it with a little fresh parsley, fresh Italian parsley, or some fresh chives. with the fact that we have the ramps, I'm not going to bother with the chives. If you're using regular onion, a little chive would be nice. You can see we got some of the tops here, a little bit of the green in there is going to give us that little bit of different flavor, more of a chive flavor. Okay, so that's going to probably do it on the mushrooms. Okay, we're going to just take a little bit of gin. We'll measure it out. And
hey.
we'll go right there.
What? That's too much.
Quarter of a cup. We're going for a quarter of a cup. Quarter cup.
Wait, you said you were going to add water.
I'm going to do chicken broth here.
Okay.
Okay. So in goes the quarter cup of gin.
Like, why not use red wine?
You could use red wine or white wine. I like to use white wine with mushrooms. Red wine would be just as good. Okay, don't breathe that in. We're going to just burn that alcohol off. And we're just about there. Bear with us, folks. Just going to cook, and you can see it's starting to form a nice sauce. It's all good mushroom and onion flavor. We're going to just cook the sting off of that alcohol.
Why not keep the sting on?
Well, you don't want to drink straight gin in a sauce. It'll never cook out. Professionally, you want to keep the flavor, but you want to cook off the alcohol.
So I'm just curious, like where have you cooked morels? Like are they popular just in the States or like abroad as well, or what?
Well, a lot of morels grow in the West Coast, so I have actually, this is the first time I ever cooked East Coast morels.
Typically you get them from
Typically you can
where?
get them from Washington State,
Okay.
Seattle area. And as we've discovered, they also grow around here.
Upstate New York.
Upstate New York.
Woohoo!
Okay, so now we're going to add our chicken broth. The chicken broth is added.
Ooh, smells good.
And we just need to let that reduce a little bit, and then we'll fold in the butter.
Nice.
Give that a quick taste just to see how that broth is coming along.
So what kind of heat are you using? High
Well,
heat?
it's on as high as it'll go. I'm actually using a electric grill. I'm sorry, electric burner, which is probably the worst one in the world that you could use. These are either really hot or really cold, so they're good for boiling water. Not the best for eggs. Not the best for anything that you really want to control the temperature. But as you can see, this is boiling up really quick. We'll have the sauce reduced in no time at all. You can see it's practically boiling.
Okay.
And that's okay because, as I said before, these mushrooms are not mushrooms that will be hurt from cooking. The longer you cook them, the more flavor you'll get out of them.
Party.
And they won't lose their shape. They'll keep their shape.
So most mushrooms aren't like this, or what?
Most mushrooms, if you think about a regular white mushroom, those will cook down to nothing. Morels don't do that. They maintain their shape for the most part.
Firm.
Yeah, they stay firm. You're going to have some texture. That's different from, even from a portobello. A portobello will cook down a little bit.